Hero.
Hero.
Ugh.
I have something that I made that I would like to share as well.
What's that?
I made a top 10 game list. Not 10, it was top 5. Top 5 game list. I don't have the best memory, so I decided to settle with 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because I honestly don't remember more than like 7 games. And it's kind of like a thing where like oh sorry, whoa, my voice got weird. It's kind of like a thing where because I don't remember that many games, maybe I don't really have a top 10.
Yeah.
I remember Pal World, but Pal World also I wouldn't necessarily consider it a top. If that makes any sense?
Yeah. Yes. I get it.
Pal
I
World
have quite a
is
few games I've played, but there's a lot that aren't in the list.
I think my thing with top 10, my top 5 is the fact that like would I play it without friends?
Yeah.
I think that's the fascinating like question that I would have to ask myself is would I play it without friends there? And honestly, there are very few games I would play alone that aren't hentai games.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you would call me a true hentai gamer, I think. Because I think the games I usually play are usually hentai games. One thing as well is like that's usually the stuff I play alone specifically.
Yeah.
One thing as well is I was actually thinking about something really interesting. I was actually thinking about this, and I was like, there, you know, Scoville units, like the pepper meter, the spice meter. Basically, the spice meter, the Scoville units.
Scoville units. Yeah.
The Scoville units. There's like a tier list, right?
Yes.
I actually was thinking about something really interesting, and that's the fact that when it comes to adult content, most people, the majority, are actually at Pepper, where they, you know, Pepper, contrary to popular belief, actually does have Scoville units.
Yes, it does.
And what the thing is most people are there. Like, sexy outfits, bikini models, it's like stuff like that, and like a character that has a good personality that you get attached to, you know, like literally Overwatch is a good example. Where they're not watching the content, quote unquote, they're experiencing the character itself. Like Tracer, for instance, people would like Tracer because she's cute, right?
Yeah.
But the people who actually get into it, right? They're actually, and the majority of the ones that actually get into like actual like adult content, they're around jalapeno, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like really, honestly, quite mild comparatively to what is actually out there, right?
Yep.
In fact, that book, the one about the Minotaur and the lady, I think it's got something milking farm, I think, where they milk Minotaurs. That's actually, contrary to popular belief, in the jalapeno range. Because it's, like, if you actually read it, yes, it's about a monster, but it's extremely, extremely tame comparatively to what is actually out there. My average is around the Hawaiian chili pepper. And if you like Google the Hawaiian chili pepper or like the Scoville unit thing, and you look at the Hawaiian chili pepper, you'll know it's like really high up there. But the stuff I get when I'm really, really craving something crazy is around ghost chili. But like the real ghost chili isn't even the hottest pepper.
No, it's not.
It's beaten by
But
like 3 or 4 different ones.
3 or 4, yes.
And each one of those peppers are really, really, really high above the power of a ghost chili. Like,
yes.
California Reaper, Scorpion Peppers, and I think there's a new one. There's a new one that's even more worse than that. Just like there is with adult content. There's a new one that's really fucked up. But it's like a thing where like, it's like a thing where it's like, the more advanced you get when it comes to the Scoville unit of like adult content, the more, what I noticed is a lot more, really interesting, is the more tame it, the more tame it looks on the surface, right? It's like a weird thing. You know how I say I crave classy lewd, where the lewdness is a treat rather than just being an ass in your face.
In your face. Yeah.
That's the kind of shit I crave. Because unironically, it's like the Dark Souls of hentai. I want to earn the right to be in your legs, right? Gotta make me work for it. And the way you notice that is I play a lot of the games, but I play the games, and if I like the gameplay, I will play the game and unlock the gallery in a single sitting.
Oh, jeez.
And that's kind of sort of how I play the adult games.
I'm not even close to that, Jenna. I'm probably in the salt and pepper or pepper.
Yeah, you're around salt and pepper. You also have the real thing, but also a thing of like that. It's not necessarily what we are talking about. There's also like a Scoville units of that too. But when it comes to real versus fictional content, the fictional content can reach like higher than you could ever go real life. You know.
Yes.
Like. The Scoville units of an actual like sexual intercourse is actually extremely tame compared to the shit that you see on hentai, or literature too. Because like literature is also a thing where that shit gets fucking crazy. Like you know those ladies who are into that book, like I said, the Minotaur book. A lot of them don't even know that there are literature made for women on the internet, has to be on the internet, by the way, because it's that fucked up, that you can find that is meant for the crazy bitches, right?
Oh.
One thing as well, the ladies who read that stuff are usually some of the nicest, calmest, cutest ladies, right? That's the one thing about like the whole classy loot thing is that you gotta break through the onion like unedible layer to get to the good part, you know? And sometimes it's more like a coconut, actually. So you'll be beating your head against the shell of a coconut before you get to the good part, and you get to the good part and you're like, oh my god, you know? The people who first try a coconut for the first time, like they gotta work for it, but like when the taste is like not everybody's cup of tea, right? That's why it's more like a cup.
But I love good.
And then there's the one.
It was a lot of work.
There's an aged coconut. They have one. I think they have coconut hearts, where they're starting to turn into a tree because they're like brown, but they've been sitting there for a bit, dude. It's sweet for some reason. It's so fucking good. Like, that's what you're breaking into the show. And if you find that, you find a coconut heart, you found one of the lewdest, most fucking crazy kinky ass bitch you ever come across. And to show you the truth, it's definitely not everybody's cup of tea. Most people eat a green coconut. They don't let a coconut sit there for days until it turns brown and starts splitting open. You pop that fucker up and you see dust, you know you got a good fucking coconut. That's advanced coconut stuff, right? Where it's like...
I didn't even know that about coconuts.
Mm-hmm. But, like, legitimately, if you come across a lady who's, like, extra, like, classy and cute and stuff like that, you never know what she's gonna be like on the inside. Kind of like a thing where, like, if you see me real life, I'm usually pretty fucking chill. In fact, I'm not, like, naked or, like, in booty shorts or, like, constantly talking about, like, sex in public. I do have this thing where I will have a conversation about it sometimes, but if you actually were to, you would have to break through a shell before I'd even let that out, you know?
Yeah.
I'm usually dressed in a aloha shirt and slacks. But, in order to figure out what kind of person I am, you'd have to either come to the streams, or you would have to be, like, in with me, you know? Thing is, like, I'm a lot friendlier online than I am in person, because people in person kind of sort of bother me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's my little rant about, like, that's what I wanted to rant about today. Oh, also, I wanted to put out the game list. Also, I'm probably gonna clip this. I'm gonna highlight this because I think it would be a really interesting conversation. But, I wanted to get out my game list at the end because I think it would be really interesting because that's what started this in the first place. But, let me see. Where is it? It's right here. Gina's top 5 games. 5 is Warframe, 4 is Echoes of Aincrad, 3 is Genshin Impact, 2 is Legend of Mana, and 1 is Duet Night Abyss. And yes, I am the cringe motherfucker who will indeed put Echoes of Aincrad above Warframe and Genshin Impact. To be
Now, I will
absolute...
say Legend of Mana is pretty good, so I can actually agree with number 2.
Yeah, to agree with number 2 is definitely good. I think that with me, it's like a thing where, like, it's a personal list. Yep. And because it's a personal list, it's kind of a thing of, like, it's going to be different for everybody. Whenever somebody has their top 5 list, I hate whenever they say it's objective fact. Also, hi, Kenji. But whenever you have a list of your favorite shit, a lot of the time people forget that this is not objective, it's subjective. Yeah. It's kind of a thing that a lot of people seem to, like, not entirely understand, you know?
Hello, Jazz.
No.
Yeah, where's my fucking... There it is. But, like, people would also be all like, what do you mean you're Hawaiian Chili Pepper and Ghost Chili? What the fuck are you watching? Let's just say I cannot say. Like, unironically, I'm unable to say, like, some of the... Not all of them, but some of the, titles of these games, because a lot of them are, like, really out there. The thing is they're not even the worst kind of games you could come across, which is really interesting. But my favorite adult games are some of the most extreme. The thing is, though, the extreme ones, while also being high quality, it doesn't have to just be extreme. It has to be high quality too. I'm not someone who will accept an extreme game if it isn't high quality. It's kind of like being super, super into a certain type of tag, but, like, every single time you see that tag, it's shit. So you have this thing where it's super rare that you would actually come across this tag and actually look at it and give it enough time, because you don't get the quality. But every single time you do get the quality, it's, like, amazing. It's a really good example, actually. Like, how do I say this? Like, if you're into like, what is it like furry stuff? Like, there's sometimes where you look for furry stuff and all you come across is like super weird shit. But what if all you're looking for is some just straight up like vanilla furry? You always come across the bad quality stuff, right? But super vanilla, like flat chested, like regular looking proportions, just straight up just vanilla furry shit, if that makes any sense, is extremely hard to come across. That's really high quality. It's always like weird shit, like, and I don't know how else to explain it, because that's the best way to explain it. Because you actually, if you look at furry stuff, you always come up like super weird shit, right?
Yeah.
But like I have it's very rare for me to find my ghost chili style of adult content, because I require high quality versions of it, and a lot of the time they don't come in high quality versions, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, you know, the whole thing I like is to unlock the gallery. Sometimes when they are really good, they don't have a gallery, which
Yeah.
always bothers the shit out of me. I'm over here like, dude, my thing is I like a good game that I can unlock the gallery, you know? One thing is though, a lot of the time it's also similar to Dark Souls, and I'm over here like, why? Like, if it's similar to Dark Souls, I don't really like it as much, because a lot of the time there are people who kind of sort of don't really understand game development trying to make a game based off of Dark Souls. It's like hard for the sake of hard is not the point of Dark Souls, but a lot of people who make adult Dark Souls games don't really understand that, you know?
Yeah.
And then you come across a game that's really good, like it's high grind, simple, action combat, and it's like, oh, this is so good. You beat the game, right, and you expect the gallery to unlock, and you're like, okay, the gallery unlocked, what is it now? And then literally, like, you click on it, and it's like, oh, damn, you really have me walking up to a static enemy instead of having me watch a scene, and I have to control it, and every single time I do the finish, I'm forced into restarting the level. I'm over here like, okay, good game, good scenes, bad gallery. I don't think I'm gonna play this as much. You know, like that's the one thing a lot of people will be in when they get advanced, is they get super fucking picky. You know. Anyway, let's continue with the story of the game. Actually, do I have any gear that I can make, actually? Oh, actually, there was a piece of gear that I got a hold of that I actually want to check. It was like a sickle or something. Not items. Oops. Actually, no, I should actually be in items. I need to put everything back and refresh them. Is that game on mobile? No, it's not on mobile. It's on PC though. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if you want it on PC. Okay. Actually, no, that's not how I want it. That's not how I want it. I'm doing good. I'm doing real good, actually. Despite being absolutely fucking traumatized by a fucking hacker, I'm doing good. I actually have been motivated by it, kinda. You know how I've been saying that I'm motivated by hatred? This hacker actually filled me with a lot of hatred, so I've been super fucking motivated. to do like stuff. And that might sound bad to some people if you haven't like seen me often, but I'm motivated by hatred to a point of being improving myself purely out of hate. It's like a weird thing where I guess I'm one of those people who want an enemy to defeat. Problem is it doesn't feel good. So it makes me angry, and the more and more I succeed, the angrier I get. Which is actually the reason why I don't think that success is gonna make me happy. So I have this thing where I don't really like the Manosphere's mindset as much, because I have this thing where I unironically will just get angrier and angrier and angrier the more I succeed. Does that make any sense? Because it's me taking out enemies. And the more enemies I take out, the more enemies I perceive, if that makes any sense. So what ends up happening is I will absolutely freak the fuck out and start like fighting everybody, right?
Yeah.
That's actually like the issue with me being like chasing success is I end up being so angry that I will basically attack everybody. Because I will perceive enemies everywhere. That's kind of sort of what success kind of sort of is in actuality, is the conquering of like an enemy, you know? I'm playing Five Nights at SP. Oh no. My cousin introduced to me where the fuck came from. As a game. Oh yeah, that's yeah. I don't usually get into political conversations, but it's like there's a reason for that. I would suggest not playing that game as much. Oh god. Oh no. Five Nights at Epstein's. Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's the one conversation I'll never really have, because everybody's views are things that they attach to really easily. And the thing is, like, that can cause a lot of strife. So I tend to just stay as far away from that as I can. Hand stiletto, hell yeah. Increases damage dealt to enemies, but also increases damage taken. Uh-oh. Where's the sickle? Did I... was it stiletto or was it sickle? I'm looking for a sickle of some sort. I think my big thing is, it isn't necessarily that I don't have beliefs or I want to sit on the fence. It's more like I just don't want to... I don't want to have the argument. So it's not necessarily a fence sitter thing. I actually have my spot that I'm in. It's just that I understand that it's such a conversation that can be dangerous for like a YouTuber, right? I thought that the SDN is crazy part. All the time character is into the screen. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. It's also one of those joke games, and I like a joke game here or there, but I find that some adult games... Oh, here's a sickle. I find some adult games, not adult games, but parody games, tend to be usually not the kind of thing that I would play on stream. Let's just put it that way. Because like a lot of the games that are parody games tend to be like usually talking about things that you definitely would not want to talk about in public, you know? Like, oh, this is a parody game. I would hear like, yeah, but I prefer like not to get into those kind of conversations playing these games, you know? Parody is the word, I believe. I don't even think it's just me though. I think there's a lot of people who prefer not to have certain conversations, not because they don't have a place, but it's more like it's rather not ruin a friendship or a career over something stupid like that, you know? And it doesn't even matter which side you sit on, you alienate half your audience if you choose a side. No, if you announce your side. Choosing a side and announcing your side is different. Can I level this up more? Can I level my weapon even more? I kind of still want to level my weapon even more. I actually kind of sort of want to take points away from my health and put points in damage. Because I think,
Overworlders, eh?
yeah, I think
So
it would be fine. Oopgrod. Can I? I can? No. Chrono rank isn't high enough for the weapon. Okay. Upgrade. Okay, let me see. So this is her weapon. This is her weapon. Inflicts burns, direct damage, and then increased damage dealt to enemies, but also decreases damage taken. Increased attack proportional to agility. Agility is 50 or higher, and normal attacks deal bonus damage based on attack. Okay. I kind of want to check something. What is her stats? Alright, you. Cheese? Yeah, cheese. Bacon. Oh, cheese, eggs, bacon.
Num.
Will feed.
Bacon. Cheese.
And a piece of my mind will feed, yeah. Cheese, eggs, bacon, and a piece of my mind. It's like being called for dinner, but like it's a trap.
Yep.
Oh, this dog is trying to get my stuff. Oh no. The motherfucking dog trying to eat your shit. Okay, I think I'm gonna give her the obsidian stiletto. You get the obsidian stiletto, okay? I don't know, because I don't want her to take too much damage. I want her to freeze people too. That would be cool. And you get a new sword. Yay! Think Phantasm. Inflicts poison. Interesting. Stout Brand. Increases the damage dealt on sprint attack. Grants bonus damage to crush attacks based on attack. Oh, she does crush attacks. Okay. Barrier is active. Grants a stack when dealing damage. Grants a stack when dealing. Okay, I saw that one. Inflicts blindness. Increases the damage of combination of skills. Oh wait, I'm at the blues. I don't want the blues. I want this. And then you, Zash. I don't feel like using Zash, but I do want to give him a weapon. He might as well. Inflicts burn stacks and damage enemies. Burn. Increase sword skill damage, but also increases cooldown time. Increases attack by improving HP. Is already into the damage with next score skill. Increases sword skill damage and HP consumption temporarily. When using a sword skill, this effect stacks up to 5 times. Damn! I'm gonna give you this. This is the only thing you can have that isn't gonna be detrimental in some way. There you go. Alright. I'm going to upgrade my waifu. Smithy!
Overworlders, eh?
Synthesis.
So what can I do you for?
Craft. Synthesis. Craft? Synthesis. Anyway. Alright, let's do this, and let's give you damage taken. You can't? Oh no. No. Attack effect resistance, number attack speed, experience gain, stamina, cold acquired, sword skill damage. Let me do this. Sword skill damage. He found out that the broom was next to the plate and started pushing the broom. Food fell and now he's eating it. No! That's okay. That is unfortunate. Aww. There goes your stuff. For me, it's not working either. But it's a buy account. Oh! Ready? I'm trying to link it on Facebook. Is it something? I think there might be something wrong with it. Man, I wanted your Zabai. I probably have to get my own Zabai. But get your own Zabai! Yep, yeah. You would try again? Okay. Trust you because you're Kenji? Yeah. Dreadnought. And grab this. Sword skill damage. Yeah. No more attack damage, sword skill damage. Ooh.
There we go.
Slash window. Interesting. Hey, glorified nut stain, how's it going? We're playing some Echoes of Aincrad. I'm just doing some stuff. It's a short stream today too. You EP on yo. I hope you get some good sleep later. Slash window. I think I might want to put slash window. I'm gonna put slash window. Fuck it. Normal attack, sword skill, slash window. Okay. I have so much fucking coal. I don't think it needs anything else besides leveling, so I'm just gonna level it now. Upgrade. Okay. Let's do her stuff. Boom, 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 boom. Confirm choice. Enhance again. There we go. There we go. Now this sword is next. Upgrade. Upgrade your sword. And skin. Someday I'll use a different weapon. I don't know though. I could probably try the sword and shield. I like sword and shields too. But I find that I don't know, I don't really have much to do that with. Cardinal rank. Okay, there we go. I'm missing cardinal rank. Goodbye, bitch. Wait, oh, the thing. Hold on, I want this. Mm. I think I've been talking. Oh, hi, Kid. I found one good game result. I can't even name which day or month we have. It's a 10 out of 10. Oh, okay. Yeah. Also, hi, Kid. Killer. Proof of metal. I want to do. I'm a 10 out of 10. Nice. I'm gonna bring her.
That Kirito guy must have unlocked the teleport gate on the second floor by now. We should head up and...
Wait, we should go through
Hi,
the
Junus.
instead of teleporting.
What? I thought we were looking for Kirito. That sounds like a bit of a hassle.
We're still pretty underleveled.
What do you mean?
During the battle in the labyrinth, Diabel's team took the lead. We were just the support. And when we went up against the boss, a lot of people helped us. So we didn't even end up doing much supporting.
Ah, you make a good point.
I bet the Swordsman of Salvation is a really tough quest. The god of death I saw in that nightmare seemed pretty damn strong. We're not even close.
So, what you're saying is that you have no plans to take the easy road.
You got it. Nobody's going to do this for us. We can gain confidence and
I got into a fight today. Oh no! Another one. Did you win?
You know what? You're right. I'm on board.
Were you able to sign into my account? No, I wasn't able to. I actually decided to make my own account, but I forgot to get to yours. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, obviously, yeah. I watched the Techno Blade,
Let's roll.
and watched his photo Potato War and decided Hypixel Skywalk is better than Warframe. Because they have more grind in the trading system, I begged Warframe to have a bizarre so I can fight. It's only bad if you lose. Yeah. I think I think when it comes to like trading systems in games, it really depends on the game. But I find that they can make a game more popular. And the reason why is, unironically, a lot of people who play grindy games don't really grind, right? Because it's something that I actually learned is that people have a threshold for what they're willing to go through, right? They got mad at some. He got mad at something I said and said. So he said, "Go suck your mom." And I said, "Mine's at the hospital bed. Go do yours." Like she's 6 feet underground hell. He slapped the back of my head, so I punched him. I lost count of how many times. The face was in the face. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. But it's a very interesting thing when it comes to things like that, right? Yeah. Did you want to? Yeah, I think he did. Yes, he said obviously is what he said. But it's like a thing where people who play grindy games have this threshold where they will handle certain amounts of grinding, but they won't necessarily handle like all of it, right? And it's like a reward versus it's a reward versus effort. And I would say a lot of the time, in order to circumvent the reward versus effort while also rewarding people who do actually go through the effort, it's good to have a trading system, right? Somebody who wants to grind in order to get a hold of the premium currency can, while somebody who has the premium currency because they went to work and didn't feel like grinding, they can buy it off of somebody, right? For me, it's technically not free because you're still using money of some sort, but it's as close to free as it's gonna get in a game like that, you know?
Jeez, this place is oozing kobolds.
But it's a fascinating thing when it comes to trading in games where it kind of enhances it a little bit, but like for two different types of players, you know? One person can do a grueling farm and sell stuff to a guy who doesn't want to do a grueling farm, and they both can get the same thing, right? With Warframe, a really good example is actually how people don't really like doing the Equinox farm because it's too much RNG. You can go farm something a little bit easier to farm and sell enough platinum to just go grab an Equinox, right? Or if you have this thing where you're not very lucky and you know it, you can buy a prime version of Equinox, you know? Unless you want the Subsume, which the Subsume isn't bad, I don't think. I actually used to use the Subsume often. Where am I going? I actually would recommend Equinox's Subsume, actually. It's actually pretty fun. I believe it's the Rest one? Rest and Rage? Best part is I can do some random stuff and become rich, as example, in the garden farming area that I hate, that gets a hot potato, which is good, and I can just go mine the shiny gems and sell them for books. Yeah. What the fuck? What is that? Oh, we're switching. No, go on to fucking fight on your own terms mode.
Note to self, chests spawn in this area too.
But essentially, I like trading in games, but it really depends on the game, kinda. It really depends on like the community too, because there are some people who will farm things to sell, who won't entirely be the friendliest people, and that tends to make it to where you don't want to trade them with them. And sometimes they are the only people selling it for a low price, which can be a bit annoying. I've had that situation myself, actually. Someone who was selling something I really needed, and they were like an asshole. So I just kind of thought, like, I don't feel like trading this game.
Yeah.
I think one thing that made First Descendant kind of fall a little bit more than it would have, despite doing a lot of things right, is the fact that it didn't have a trading system, because the trading system probably could have helped it a little bit. Because a lot of people, like, circumventing the grind in some way is actually a lot more important for grinding games than you would think. Like, despite what people will say in the gaming industry, there is validity to the argument of being able to pay money can help you enjoy a game, because sometimes the problem with a game is the fact that it's asking too much of you, and you'd rather just want to figure out a way to circumvent that, you know? It's also a thing where, like, I guess the gacha game would actually be a good example of, like, sometimes you don't want to go and do an event to get your final 10 pull, so you just drop like $10 or something on your final 10 pull, because the event is asking you to do something stupid like dance in a multiplayer setting with a lot of sweats. And possibly people talking shit as they're dancing, which I've heard of that, I think, but I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a thing in Genshin. I know in the hide and seek one, which I was actually really good at, people would send me stickers because I guess they didn't speak my language. But it wasn't like hella toxic because it was still like really mild things. They would send me stickers, and I usually assumed that was because I was next to them somewhere, and so I just would run around and start checking. It's kind of a thing where like they could send me a sticker, but I only hear like, haha, so I am close to you, proceeds to find them. It's happened multiple times. You'd be surprised how someone's big mouth can get them in trouble. They sends the laughing, fuck is that lady's name? A laughing waifu emoji. Gets caught, sends the fucking lying down Chi-Chi emoji. He's like, haha! Only problem with Warframe, except for my band, is that I have everything I wanted, which made me sad. I have like unlimited stuff, and on Hypixel, I can grind also even if I'm trading. Others, which is a nice screen, where you can just place items and get them, get them, and let them get sold or buy items without interactions. It's just a nice thing to have and absolutely not exploitable whatsoever. Oh yeah, like, that's my favorite kind of trading, honestly, is the market. Where I can just kind of just drop down a trade and then just wait until it disappears. I don't have to like interact with the motherfucker. Like I'm not like anti-social. I'm just kind of like no, I actually am anti-social. It's not like the disease of anti-social. It's more like I just don't want to interact with people. Like on stream, it's fine because you know I'm trying to be entertaining, right? But if I were to go and like have to type to someone or like talk to someone to try and get something out of them, I just want to get it done. Like, you're not a viewer, you're not a fucking friend, you're just some random guy that I want something from, and I kind of want to get the conversation over with, you know? I'm not studying anti-social. Streams are in meeting friends is my highest level of being social. Yeah, that makes sense. It's the same thing with me. I think one of the things I actually told Keith is that I'm never gonna make my own friends. You kind of sort of have to you have to like introduce me to people. And he said, unfortunately, I am not the kind of person he'd introduce to anybody. So I'm over here like, yeah, I get it. Because apparently his friends are a bunch of kids. And so it's like a weird thing where, unfortunately, it would be a horrible idea for me to interact with any of them, you know?
Yeah.
I should go this way. Because apparently, he attracts people who are innocent. So he has this thing where he has a lot of innocent people as, like, his friends. So it's a weird thing where they probably would have a meltdown if they were to, like, interact with me in some way. Which I get. I am not everybody's cup of tea. I mean, hell, I just added LewTuber to my YouTube because I am a LewTuber, and I think it would be a good idea to advertise that since people don't really know that unless they mention it sometime. Cause yeah, like I literally started this stream with talking about fucking hentai games and monster talking about it like it was a flavor of like spice, you know? And that's definitely not for everybody. I personally just think, alright, there are 2 people I meet on Fridays and day after everything is set for stream. That feels like a chore. Yeah. Like,
Nice work.
like a lot of the time, interacting with people kind of sort of is a chore. It sounds weird, but like it sounds bad, but like a lot of the time, I kind of sort of want to be like alone, and well, not alone, but I kind of sort of just want to be with people that are stable, not stable. How do I say this? I like consistency, right? And people who are new are a wrench in my plans of consistency. So I have this thing where I prefer if I were to be around people that I've already been around, you know? Like it definitely is like a massive chore to interact with people sometimes. Especially if you want something from them. That's like the big one. Is like if you want something from them, right? A person can be very hard to deal with. Kinda. I've actually experienced this myself like often. It's like if I want something from them, they usually understand that I do. So they want me to do something for them. Which is actually how I was taught that like transactional style of conversations is kind of a real thing, you know? I can grind video games for hours to end, but it's I was shopping with clothes for an ex, and after she asked for a break, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Like actual interaction with people is a little bit different than streaming. And that's like a fascinating oh fuck. That's a fascinating quote that for anybody who's like interested in how like the people who it's an interesting quote for anybody who's like interested in like people who do what you call conversations, right? The people who are like not allergic to, but like tend to not really desire contact with like too many people, you know. I've heard of some people actually having like this thing where they can spend hours upon hours playing, right, a game, and they're really like in the games they're a social butterfly, but if they were to actually interact with a real person, they would kind of sort of have an issue with it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not the same, but I will say, even in video games, I don't really like talking to people that much. And it's literally like my social, not my social battery, but my empathy is so high, I'm able to tell what people are like thinking when they're talking. So a lot of the time, like when someone is sassy, I think there's a problem. And I feel like uncomfortable because it's like there's a problem and I must fix is actually like where my brain goes. That's why 9 hours shopping, I called my friend an excuse to save me, and my heart dropped, so I decided my phone ran out of energy. Oh no! Oh, that's a fucking antisocial's nightmare. Like, you go 9 hours for shopping, having to interact with somebody. You try to call for someone to save you and your fucking phone dies. Oh god. Oh no. This motherfucker. Where is this guy? Maybe he's down? He might be down. At the end, I was like, nice knowing you, bye. Yeah. Cause like, I don't mind doing like something for somebody, but I have a hard time dealing with like having to deal with something for an extended period of time. Oh, I missed that. Sorry. Oh wait, is that from the video? I think that's from a video. Cause it didn't tell me. Also, thank you, what? Histrio. And thank you, Histrio. I'm not sure if you're here, but yes, thank you. Actually, was that from my video talking about how to make games like fun? Because I think I got a subscriber from that. I think people actually agree with what I'm saying. Because I was saying that like it's effort versus reward, and a lot of games just don't have enough like reward for what they're asking you to do. So like that's actually like legitimately what I was saying on that video. And I was actually thinking that like it might be something that there might be some people who don't agree with it, but apparently a lot of people just straight up agree with it. It isn't necessarily that the grind is bad, it's the fact that there isn't enough like reward for what they're asking you to do, you know? Oh, now it's letting me know history of photos. Hello, there we go. Wait, is it? It probably just happened, actually.
Another victory in the bag.
I checked my phone. But yeah, it's an interesting thing where, like, people, like, whenever people say that the grind is too much, they're usually saying there isn't enough, like, reward for the amount of grind that you're giving. One of the things that's really interesting with that is like Power World is a good example of how to do it in a really interesting way. You can just take Power World, right, and you can increase the amount of experience points you get, right? Or you can make it to where you don't drop items, or you can make it to where eggs are instantaneous, right? So you have this fun little thing where it's so customizable, and that's part of the reason why it's so popular, right? Like, what if you don't feel like having your eggs last an hour before you pick them up, right? What if you don't feel like doing that? What if, like, you decide that you want to do the silly teleport back home, right? The silly teleport back home is a fun little thing. But also, what if you want it to be hardcore, right? What if you want it to be your pals are hardcore? Now that's also a fun little thing, right? Like you go flying and you go and you use your flyer for combat because you know you feel like confident. You get your fucking flyer like blasted out of the sky. It's like, uh-oh, now you gotta walk home. Now you gotta get another one of those flyers, you know? It's a short stream, what time will it end? 3 hours. We're going to Costco because my food stamps are here. And, the kids being picked up early. Oh no! Oh my god. No, not from now. From the start of stream. I actually spent the first 30 minutes kind of sort of like doing nothing. But, yeah, the first 30 minutes of the stream. Not first 30 minutes, the first 3 hours. Yeah, food stamps are here, which means we gotta go pick up food. I mean, I have like 3 bottles of water left because I only grabbed 2 containers of water. I actually think I might want to go grab 3 containers of water this time, or boxes of water. I go at 7, I was gonna come back at 8, yeah. But I want to go do a thing. I got a hexastone? Oh, it's Carapace, damn. I got a hexastone. I know I got one. I got it from a regular dude, too. Water, not cola is the way. I actually do have cola. I actually have Sam's Cola, which is a generic, Coke. And it's really good. Like, it's like, less sweet than Coke. It's really good. I like Sam's Cola. You know what? I would say, like, you know, I want, like, my dream is to be sponsored by, like, a food place. I wouldn't mind being sponsored by fucking Sam's Cola. It's so cheap, and, like, it's so good. It's less sweet, but it has more flavor besides sweet. I want to hear, like, I kind of sort of want to be fucking sponsored by Sam's Cola. Like, hey, what do you want for the thing? It's like, dude, just like, unironically, use the fact that I'm a lewd femboy VTuber. Like, unironically, like, one of the best ways to get someone to want a soda literally comes from this one comedian who is talking about Spanish commercials and how, like, it's literally just softcore porn. Just unironically, Sam's Cola, just make, like, a fucking weird little animation of, like, softcore, like, femboy hentai or some shit. I don't know. Like, go for Spanish fucking commercial, man. Just say fuck it. They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. But if they do, that would be that'd be great. Or like gamer stuff. Like gamer stuff would also be good too. Like I don't know. Yeah, put my face on the can. With like or you can make a commercial that literally is just like me like placing a ice cold Sam's Cola can between my legs and just kind of gaming and stuff like that. I don't know, something silly like that. Just bring out the fucking softcore hentai. Ow. Motherfucker! Damn. Ow! What the hell? Yeah. I don't know where they're from, where Sam's Cola comes from, though, so I'm not sure if they would want to do that. It's like different cultures are different, and I don't really know where Sam's Cola comes from. If it's from like an Asian or a Spanish place, they might want to do the softcore porn hentai, but I don't think they're gonna want to do it if they're like from like America, actually, to be completely honest. Because I don't really think America has truly, like, at least officially, like the official America stuff, like actual TV, has actually embraced VTubers that much. I mean, everybody knows VTubers exist, but a lot of them don't really embrace things. I would say straight up, one of the things I actually noticed about, like the Americas, is that we're usually pretty late for stuff, except for, like, honestly, Hawaii, because Hawaii is, like, a place where a lot of Asian people go. So we get a lot of, like, super hyper modern stuff. And people are like, oh, like, what do you mean by that? Like, we have, like, fucking... We have, like, some of the most highest technology. I want to hear, like, yeah, but culturally? Culturally, we're still, like... We're still having the argument of whether or not, like, video games cause violence. And literally, you Google it, and it literally says no. But nobody will believe it. It's a weird thing where, like, I guess a lot of people still believe wives' tales, right? And oh, Hexstone, yay! I'm glad I killed that guy. But a lot of people kind of sort of just decide that they wanna believe a fucking wives' tale, right? Also, like, people still believe that soda doesn't hydrate you. It dehydrates you, apparently. I'm over here like, what? It's a fucking liquid. The only thing different about it is it has, like carbonation and, like, juice ingredient. It's basically just carbonated juice, man. It's like, it has caffeine in it, yes, but, like, it doesn't dehydrate you. Like, oh, but, like, so does coffee. Yeah, so does coffee. And you know what coffee also does? It fucking hydrates you. Like, caffeine in high quantities can dehydrate you. But here's the thing. It's not that high, and it also has liquid in it. You know? It's kind of like drinking salt water. Salt water can hydrate you, despite the fact that it has salt in it. But also a thing of, like, sometimes, like, it's like a thing where, like, it's unrealistic to drink water that has that much salt in it. You know? It's also unrealistic to drink that a soda that has so much caffeine as to dehydrate you. But by cold up dehydration, yeah. I'm not sure if Samus Cola would do it, but if they did, they would make a lot of gamers, like, super happy. Then again, like, I have this thing where I'm really small, so I'm not sure if they would want to do that, you know? I'm a really fucking tiny VTuber, so if they were to collab with me, I don't know, like, if they would take any of my ideas seriously. But the thing is, like, oh god. The thing is, like, when it comes down to it, like, oh shit. Any sponsor also would be pretty good, actually. Specifically, like, one that comes to me, because the ones that go to you are usually, like, sponsors that do a little bit of research. Not a whole lot, like, not a crazy amount, but just enough to know what you're about a little bit. And they're over here like, oh, here's a fucking YouTuber who absolutely fucking loves fast food and is a fucking hardcore gamer who's also got a softcore mentality, right? And it's like, we can deal with this. Like, we don't, yeah, I'm not very hyper competitive, but I am technically considered a hardcore gamer. Now that I really think about it. Because, like, you know, video games, I fucking stream video games for fucking 6 hours. I'm fucking hardcore, you know? There's probably gonna be a company who would be interested. The thing is, like, they also have other options, you know? Why use the femboy VTuber who's got no viewers when they could literally use, Taiga, you know? And it's like, oh, but Taiga didn't like accept us. It's like, yeah, but that also means that I'm not your first choice. There's also some VTubers who are femboys that are bigger than me who would take any sponsorship. Just like I would. It's like, oh, would you go for Raid Shadow Legends? Unironically? Like, absolutely dead ass? Maybe. Like, they would have to give me some free shit, honestly. But, like, yeah. Motherfuckers be all like, hey, like, you wanna do Raid Shadow Legends? I'm over here like, okay, here's the deal. I will download Raid Shadow Legends right now, and I will say, hey, if I like this game, and I feel like I'm actually gonna play it for 6 hours, I'll play it for 6 hours, right? On a stream. So, if I'll let you know, and I play it and I actually like it, I'll be like, okay, guys, I played it for a while, and I'm like, I like this. What? Can you send me the details? It's like, yeah. Then they send me a whole entire details and stuff, and like, yeah. I hear like, is it okay if I talk mad shit? Because is it okay if I talk about the good and the bad? right? I'll talk about the good, and I'll also talk about the bad. Is that okay? It's like, yes. Then I'll be super into it a little bit. Maybe I won't be the best option because, you know, fucking tiny fucking people. But the thing is, my rule is the same as anybody else's. I have to also like it. Jay, can I picturize the white model when than your current model? Yes. But basically, essentially my big thing when it comes to sponsors, it has to be something I actually use. Which is why I say my biggest dream is McDonald's. Because I use the shit out of McDonald's, you know? Like McDonald's is like one of my favorite restaurants, so is the boss just gone? The boss is just gone. We gotta level up! Level up! Yeah, let's go. Every day I'm leveling. Pew 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 pew. You are.
Safe area. Thank goodness.
Alright. Motherfucking piggy pig. Pork. I'm halfway through the game because I'm now at what you call. Also on this game actually, I would say this. This game's story, I wasn't expecting it to have such big balls. Like last week, if you watch that stream, you'll see this game has balls that I've not seen in so long. Like it actually managed to like bring itself to do something fucking crazy. And it's been so long since I've seen a game be able to do something on screen that is like that. Oh, son of a bitch. Because, like, there's also, like, Duet Not a Bitch that has a similar situation. But, like, it's like a thing where it wasn't, like, something as crazy as, like, what, Echoes of Aincrad did. That's why I actually moved Echoes of Aincrad up. Which it's probably not like the most wholesome reason as to why I moved Echoes of Aincrad a little bit higher in the rankings. But it's the reason that matters, kinda. I like myself a good story. But specifically I like a story with balls. And because I like myself some dark stories that despite the darkness you have beautiful things. It's like the best way to explain the type of stories I like is like defiant flowers growing out of bone and axe, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like, Duet Not a Bitch also has some balls too, right? Like, it's like, it fucking kills one of the waifus that you love, right? After you get used to and fall in love with her, not only that, but she was also a useful character that was actually important to your character too, as well as the player, and they took her from you and made it your fault. That's another thing that I already am, like, super interested in, you know? Where it's like not necessary consequences, but more like, It's more like stakes that actually matter, right? You kind of sort of see, like, I like it when, I unironically like it when a game is willing to make a situation personal, right? Like, it's not necessarily about having high stakes, it's about having personal stakes, right? One of the reasons why I struggle to kind of play, Arknight's Enfield is a lot of the time when they do have a thing where they can do something similar, they don't really go all the way. The first time you actually lose someone, for one, there's a chance that he's not even dead, right? Number two, it was a box on wheels. I know it sounds bad, like, yeah, like, Tata is, like, cute and stuff, but it didn't really say anything. So I didn't really get a personality from it that I actually cared about, you know? And not only that, but, like, even for a gacha game, it kind of sort of, like, just kind of sort of didn't get me attached to Tata. So Tata disappearing, and it even confirming that it was disappearing, not dying, is unfortunately, like, a little bit cringe, right? But no, two characters in Duet, a character in Duet Night Abyss and a character in Echoes of Aincrad are just fucking dead. They are dead, right? And it also dangled the possibility of being able to save them, but then told you no, right? Like, you had the ability to save them dangled in front of your face, and then the game took them from you anyway, right? And both main characters are having really hard time dealing with it, which I think is also another thing that's really interesting. Like, even though I'm the protagonist, I'm not really the main character, but also, like, even though I'm not the main character, my character still has major issues with that character's death. Even though the character wasn't even, like, a character that you had as a partner at all, like, they weren't in the gameplay, they were still established as your character's best friend, right? Your character's best friend is fucking gone. Right in front of you, right? And that is a devastating thing to happen to her, too. Or whichever gender you decide to go with. But it's also obvious, like, your character isn't okay, you know? That's also another thing that I kind of sort of wish I saw more of, is something tragic happening and the character just not being okay afterwards, you know? Also, if you want to save, sure, go all the way, you can go into comedy like Konosuba, but if you want to go with stakes and make them count, no fake outs, yeah. Like, Konosuba has a lot of, like, comedy. Like, that's a comedy. Of course it's gonna be like that. But if you're gonna take your game serious, like, your story seriously, you need to have the ability to take the things in your story seriously. Like, mental illness is also another one that's really interesting. I would say straight up that Duet Night Abyss, and it actually takes, like, mental illness very seriously. Where, yes, Ada, the new character, is really cute, but it's obvious she isn't okay, right? She's adorable, but she's sick. She's really sick. In fact, she kind of sort of reminds me of the song from Melody Martinez, Mad Hatter, right? Where it basically says, like going through how, like, the character is fucking nuts, but everybody loves her anyway, right? Like, you know damn well there's something wrong with Ada. And it is taken seriously. It's not just like, oh, she's so cute, she's so sick. No, she's sick, but it's not cute. Like, she's, you know, she's cute, but like, your character is fucking terrified of what she's gonna do. You know? Because yes, she is fucking schizophrenic. She's crazy. And, you know, you kind of sort of need to take that seriously. Despite people saying that she's really cute, she is not okay. You know? Like, she is terrifying, actually. Actually, Ada does. She actually scares me a little bit. She's full-on fucking schizophrenic. But she has magical powers that make her visions real. And I think that's the scary part. She is schizophrenic, yet her schizophrenia is tied to a power that is able to make her visions real. And I think that's the scary part. So it's really important that you keep her happy and safe. You protect her from her own powers, because she is dangerous. That's the thing that I find very special about, that's the thing I find very special about Duet Night Abyss's storytelling, is it manages to make you fall in love with people who aren't entirely the healthiest, you know? While also still giving respect to those diseases. Like, your main character is a character who is fully obsessed with never losing someone again. To a point where they will go through crazy lengths. They will fight a god because they are going to lose somebody, right? And it's like a thing where it's like, it turns out in the end most of the time, right? But they have the capacity to fuck up everything, right? Because they want to save everybody, because they don't want to lose anybody anymore, because they're tired of losing people, right? And that's understandable. It's understandable to be tired of losing somebody, which I think is like something that I vibe with as somebody who's lost a few people, you know? I don't want to lose anybody anymore, you know? So that's one of the reasons why I fucking love doing other bits of stuff. And it's kind of similar to that when it comes to the Echoes of Aincrad too, is like, you lose somebody and it affects you so badly that your character is just definitely not okay, right? They take the fact that somebody died extremely badly, right? It's a whole thing where, like, yeah, being able to respect something so serious is very, very interesting. I thought a new character is also like a good friend because someone and started a war because if it, so yeah, I can relate. Yeah. It's like an interesting thing where the only thing I really ask of like any game developer is to just take serious topics seriously. Even if you have to make it to where the character is a sweet character and a cute character, right? Like, if there's something wrong with them, even if they are supposed to be a lovable character, like, make it to where it isn't just like, you know, it's a good example, like, you ever seen the trope of the crew of like 5 people, and there's one person that they constantly bully? Like, take the bullying seriously, man. That is someone who is being bullied by 4 people, right? One of the reasons why it was so good in what you call it? It was so good in Teen Titans, not the Go one, but the Teen Titans, the regular one, was because despite him being like the weaker link, like they still, like whenever Beast Boy would have a fucking crash out, these people who were mean to him would come back and like turn around and be all like, "Are you okay?" Like, they would check up on him, right? In actuality, despite them, you know, him being like the weaker link, they respected him enough to check up on him when he needed it, you know? Like, hell, like, Beast Boy's whole thing is that, like, he thinks he's not good enough, and he constantly proves it to himself, but every single time there's doubt, he is in the dumps, right? Because he knows he's a loser, right? But despite being a loser, he is someone with a lot of, like power and potential, right? And it's like a thing where, like, he was my favorite character, as you can tell. But, like, it's my favorite character because it kind of sort of taught me that despite me being a fucking loser myself, I still have some sort of value, right? And that's the power of taking something like that seriously. Like, he is the joke character, don't get me wrong, but they treat him with respect when he is falling apart. They give him the respect when he needs it, you know? I think that's kind of special. Also, I think Killer Kid might have missed that, but yes. Like, Beast Boy's whole thing was that... I'll just summarize it. Basically, Beast Boy was my favorite character because he taught me that despite being a loser, like, you could still have potential, right? And they kind of gave him... That's the power of, like, showing respect to a serious thing, right? Wait. Is it, like... Is it, Oh, the commercial has just started. Okay, no mind. I thought the commercial just ended. I think, let's see. Let me check. Yeah, there we go, we're back. But yeah, that's the thing I kind of sort of want in a lot of media, is the whole taking a serious topic seriously kind of thing. There's a lot of times where taking a serious subject seriously isn't something that people are capable of, you know? I kind of sort of want more of that, you know? It's like a serious story that's like that doesn't necessarily have to, like, be without comedy or without relief, you know? You can have your comic relief and you can have your characters that are, like, have happiness. Like, I'm not here for, like, pure nothing but, like, suffering. That's not what I want. What I want is, like a story that, like, doesn't downplay something that is... Especially if it's a serious story, you know? Same with Megumin, she's a bit extra and actually autistic, but in the end, the other characters care about her, even though she mostly sacrificed is explosion and boom. Yeah. How short is this stream? 3 hours today. But it's kind of like a thing where, like, it's really important to me, I think. Oh no, he has a shield. Ruin Cobalt Chieftain. Oh yeah. Ow. Oh, he's so tall. He's so tall in skin. Ow. Oh, what? Crazy hitboxes. Oh, cool. Gina gets the knife, yeah. Stab, stab, stab. Anyway. Oh, Megami not mentioned, so yeah.
Alright, done and dusted.
Yeah, that's like a... That's not this thing. Explosion! Exactly.
Hey, I can see a safe area.
You can see a safe area. Very good. Why did I go around? I could have just went straight. I don't know. I think my favorite... I think if you look at my favorite games, you get a genuine idea of what kind of games I like. Of course, I have a Game Boy, so I don't know if I do.
Be right
yeah.
there.
Okay. My favorite games. Oh yeah, I wanted. Let me read it again because I think it would be really interesting to read it again. So here on my Gina's top 5, I have Gina's top 5
right
games:
there.
Warframe, Echoes of Aincrad, Genshin Impact, Legend of Mana, and Duet Night Abyss. I like myself a very, very good grind that has like a satisfyingness to it. While also having simple gameplay, which is mostly combat, as well as like a lot of variety in like building and customization too. I fucking love customization. It's like, oh, but Genshin Impact doesn't have great customization. Yeah, it does. It has the mannequin. I unironically the hugest fan of the mannequin. I think I might actually be legitimately the hugest fan. Because I have been searching all over for any information on the mannequin. And I just can't find any that like isn't somebody just talking shit. Or like doing one build video and then just putting it away. Forever. Like, and it's like, even the ones who are willing to do challenge mode videos are kind of sort of people who just usually spend the whole time talking shit. Now I hear like I might be one of the only fans of the mannequina and the mannequin. So that's unfortunate because what's also a thing where like people say, oh, the miniature Wonderland isn't very popular, but I've seen like hundreds of thousands of people in the Wonderland at one time. I forget where I've seen this. But oh my god, I've seen like a statistic somewhere where it was like 100,000 people in the miniature Wonderland or some shit. Oh my god, I'm getting my ass beat. I'm also, oh shit, fuck off you asshole. But it's a fun little thing where, it's like a weird thing where I don't like hated characters. I kind of sort of just like things that happen to be hated. And the thing is, like, I think it's my playstyle that I really like is just a hated playstyle, I guess. Either that or my playstyle keeps getting fucking ruined by a lot of people. I don't know, it's weird. Top games, 1, Minecraft itself, of course. Then Hypixel Skyblock, that counts its own game. I would say Factorio, then Terraria, then Clash Royale, then a bunch of games I forgot, then really big down the bottom, Warframe. Also, I'm not petty whatsoever. Yeah. I don't really think I have a worst game list, simply because, like, the worst game list, technically, that I would have would not have big name games. Like, people would say, oh, like, there's so many bad games that are, like, considered, like, the worst games ever. I'm over here like, dude, I do not believe you have actually experienced the worst games in the world. If you think, like, I've heard some motherfuckers say, like, a lot of, like, the new modern games are, like, the worst games ever. I think, yeah, they're bad comparatively to other games of their class. But I'm sorry. Like, there, like, I don't think you've experienced the worst of the worst, like, ever. Like, people say indie gaming is, like, doing really well, but I'll tell you straight up, indie gaming includes almost 1,000 games every year, and there is some fucking garbage. Like people will complain about like the modern games are like super high quality, and say that's the worst ever. Like people think this game right here that I'm playing right now is the worst game in the year. No, man. No, you want to say the worst game of the year? Turn on itch.io and look at like the worst. And you're like, oh, what about Steam? Mother, go to Steam, look at newest, look at like this year, and look at the bottom of the bottom, right? Look at it's like some of them are review bombed, but if you look at the bottom of the bottom, even the review bombed games do not match the fucking horror that is some of the worst shit I have ever played. Like, you wouldn't say, like, I unironically have played a lot of indie games, right? It's what I usually play, technically. But it's like, there's some good indie games, but Jesus Christ. Like, if you think, like, if you think some of the AAA shit is the worst games, I don't really think you've actually experienced actual indie game developers. Actual indie game developers are like one person, and that one person is a fucking idiot, right? That sounds mean, but like it's very accurate to like the situation that video gaming is kind of sort of in, where like a lot of people say like don't actually know what the worst games are. Like a really good way to experiment to do it is to go like all the way from today to like June, I think is the first. No, it's July. Yeah, is it July? I think it's July. But you go all the way to last July, and you look at the bottom of the bottom, and you will see like some horrible games and stuff. Like some of them are like really review bombed like AAA games, and all, that's not necessarily what I'm talking about. But like you go and you look up like anything. It's like I would say that as well. Like, as somebody who says adult gaming has never been better. Like some of these games are adult games, and I will admit, like some of these adult games are hot fucking garbage. Like, and here's the thing. Weirdly enough, it's not always ones that are made with AI. Like some of these games made with AI in adult scene are not necessarily the worst, but some of the ones that I've seen that were absolutely horrible were made by people who didn't even touch AI and instead were just somebody who decided to slap together something fucking stupid, right? Like, and the worst part is some of these games are being sold for like $30, and it's like dude, there is like gaming, like you want to talk about the worst of the worst, you know? Like you haven't experienced it if you say like a AAA game is the worst game in the world. It's but the reason why I say like the people would say, oh, the worst games in all of 2026 definitive list, and I see like fucking like Monster Hunter's like DLC or something, and I'm over here like, dude, I don't think you understand how horrible it can be. Like it's like, oh, like this game was made with AI. I'm like, here like, no. Like you want to see some absolute garbage? Go to itch.io, like specifically where all the indie game developers are, and look for something that has low, like, rating. It's gonna have, like, 5 downloads, and it's gonna have, like, a total of 4 reviews, right? And it's just gonna be fucking them talking mad shit. And you're actually gonna play it, and you'll be like, oh my god, I understand. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, you gotta experience garbage to actually know what garbage actually is, you know? If all you've been playing is Peak, of course you think something like Monster Hunter is trash, right? If all you play is Peak, right? But I'll say straight up, itch.io. My opinion is the worst games, they are irrelevant because it's some bad AI stuff, so at worst game on this would rather go to worst games for their too high budgets. Hopefully GTA, because if I would be trash, I would think it was hilarious than Warframe, because I'm still the most petty person in the world, and the Concord because too much, too little. Then I would say FIFA for what it does. Yeah. I say, like, when it comes down to it, like, one of the things that kind of stuff makes people really mad at AAA gaming is not necessarily the quality, it's more the fact that they're asking too much. Like, it kind of goes similar to that conversation I was having about, like, effort versus reward. It also is a thing where it comes to business, capitalism specifically, is that when it comes down to it, it's really important to understand that everybody has their price, but it really depends on what you're asking for and who's asking, right? And there's a lot of the time where a lot of companies are just asking too much, while also being companies that are hated, right? Like, would you really pay $60 to a game that is from a developer you hate, while also they're asking you for $80, and they're not giving you an $80 worth price from a hated company? Like, it's like a thing where, like, if you hate Nintendo, of course $80 is too much for Mario Kart, right? $80, like, you'd probably play Mario Kart if it was like $30. But the thing about that is, like, everybody has their price, but it really depends on who's asking and what they're asking for, you know? Concord would be alright if it needs PlayStation Plus and $70 instead is free to play and had a better budget. Yes! Oh my god, yes! That's a really good point. Concord being $70 was a fucking mistake. Like, the thing is if you're gonna have a barrier to entry, while also having this thing where you don't really give that, while you also have a bad reputation, like, you need to make a fucking masterpiece, right? Or that barrier to entry needs to be low. The fact that the barrier to entry was fucking $70 for a game that was, like, hella not good from a company that we hate, it's like, make it free, you dumb fuck. Like, you're asking $70 out the gate, you better have $70 worth of fucking content. Especially when the person asking for that price is going to have a deduction in value due to it being a company we hate. That's how actual, like, capitalism works. Like, everybody has their price, and you have the right to say what your price is. The thing is, like, when it comes down to it, if they hate you, your price is gonna go up. No, your price will go down, technically. Your price has to go down. Also, only the trash can was breedable, which is also upsetting for a hero shooter. Yeah. That's also another thing, is, like, free-to-play people, hero shooters specifically, they don't want to look stupid. When it comes to hero shooters, a lot of the time, the problem isn't necessarily, like, that they want everybody to be sexy. It's the fact that you're trying to get people to fall in love with a character, right? And one of the things that's really important to falling in love with a character is having a design that's appealing to the eye with every single character. You might have this thing where you're like, hey, I want to have a character that's silly or like fat or like something like that, but you still have to do it in a way that doesn't offend people, right? An offensively bad looking piece of artwork is gonna put people off, right? It's a funny little thing where the importance of looking good is not to be understated, because it's a lot more important than you would think, you know? Ow. Because like, especially in a hero shooter specifically, right? It's a thing I was talking about when it comes to design and video game development that I actually was talking about earlier. Is you have to, like, it's fine. It's not necessarily the fact that it's ugly. It's the fact that it's ugly in the wrong type of game. You know, if it's a hero shooter, right? You can't be making it to where you don't want to, like, you have to be appealing, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a hero shooter, right? A lot of the time, the problem with hero shooters is the fact that, like, you're making a hero shooter without really understanding that you're supposed to design characters a certain way in a hero shooter, right? It's also a thing with, like, gachas, too, right? There's a certain way that a gacha kind of sort of needs to carry itself, right? And one of the ways that a gacha needs to carry itself is it needs to have good story. And a gacha game with bad story is a horrible gacha game. Boss fight. Okay. But that's kind of sort of the thing with, like, with game design, is that you need to understand what your audience is. And that's kind of the sort of thing that a lot of, like, game developers in game development kind of sort of fail at. They assume that just because the game is like got good gameplay, that's the only thing they need to do. Alright? I'm about to grind for money for days in Hyperfacial just to walk around in pink armor with my Megamine skin. Because it's cute and I want to stay sexy, go for it, but we can't be cool or cute, and so why are you doing it? You know, make a character ugly-ish if the story is good for the character, interesting, like, well, yeah. That's also another thing, is, like, in order for you to care about an ugly character, you need to balance that out with a good, like, you need to balance that out with a good story. And unfortunately, a lot of the time, like, they don't understand that. It's a balancing act between the negatives and the positives, right? When it comes to, when it comes to games kind of sort of having a thing where they have a developer that tries to make a game in a certain genre, they don't understand that the masses are important when it comes to a game, but they need to understand that the masses of a certain audience is what it is, right? Like, imagine a imagine like a gacha game. Like, that's a really good example. Is a gacha game with horrible story, right? Like, one of the biggest appeals of gacha games is the story, despite what people say, right? Ah, fuck. And that's like a truth that a lot of people don't really seem to understand. it is like, you need to match the audience, right? You want an ugly character, unironically, you need to go to fucking Warhammer. Like probably a lot of people might say like, oh no, that's not the thing. No, I've seen fucking Warhammer. Warhammer is like a game that like pretty has no place in Warhammer, right? That's kind of like a really big thing about that. That's the kind of game you would want to have, like, ugly, right? Because it's also a thing of, like, it's also like a thing where it's like having a fantasy game without some sort of elf. Or, like, a fantasy game that doesn't have magic, right? Like a fantasy game that doesn't have some sort of version of magic is not going to be good, you know? Historical fiction with magic is also kind of cringe too, because it's historical fiction, right? It's an alternative event of history. Not only that, if it's historical fiction, you got to be accurate to what the person was. You know, like you can't go and make Cleopatra ugly. That's not a thing that people would accept, you know? Especially since a lot of people who like historical fiction are usually people who actually know the history, you know? When it comes, like, so it's like a thing where, like, yes, the masses are important, but you gotta keep in mind that your niche has a masses that is really important. Pal World is a monster catching game. Could you imagine? No, it's specifically a survival tamer game. Imagine a Pal World wouldn't allow you to do the things that Ark Survival Evolved allows you to do. Unironically, like, Pal World is literally just Ark Survival Evolved with Pokemon. And that's why it's very popular, because it knows what it needs to do. It is a survival crafting game with slavery. That is what makes Pal World good. Because it understands that the majority of people who are going to play that kind of game want to have crafting, building, and slavery. That and breeding too is also one. Actually, no, I don't think breeding is really important. But it does have breeding, so that's cool. And in fact, if you look at any of the games that are like survival crafting, and they don't like have some sort of version of slavery, they usually aren't very highly recommended.
Finally here.
In fact, like The Forest, I think it was called, had a dude who had like hit his head, and you could literally use him as like a slave, which is like one of the big things about that game. You literally have someone literally perform simple tasks for you. And then there's Conan Exiles, which I played Conan Exiles.
Do you know how to get to town?
Actually, I think it'd be better to head back home and prepare. The boss battle difficulty was totally different. The field might be more dangerous too.
True. Let's regroup.
Warhammer is actually what they miss with characters. Or they may be ugly, but the story gives them... Yes! Exactly! The reason to... And it also balances out with some... For a game, for it to not fail, you either need good game design, aka fun gameplay loop, cute, hot characters, or a good story. If they feel like that, it's really... You're frequent pair. Yes! It's my thing that's really important when it comes to games. It is, when it comes to games, the most important things is that gameplay is king, story is queen, and artwork is ace. You need to have a balance between all three of these things, right? If you want bad artwork, you need to have good story and good gameplay. If you want to have bad gameplay, you need to have good story and good art. If you want to have bad story, you need to have good art and good gameplay. If you want to have all three, which is extremely difficult, you can't really balance it completely. So it's best to make sure that you have one of these things be your priority. A lot of the time, like, here's a good example, is actually God of War Ragnarok. A lot of those characters are actually pretty fucking ugly. But the story and the gameplay is probably top tier. You know? At least from what I can tell. From watching things. I will say,
Phew. We're back. Let's get ready.
All right. Meet back up here when you're prepped.
I would say one of the things that's really interesting about, like, Echoes of Aincrad is I think one of the reasons why the game kind of sort of suffers a bit is despite the characters being, like, you know, kind of cute, like, it doesn't really have... Like, despite the characters being kind of cute, they don't really have, like, enough cuteness. The gameplay is also, like, basic Dark Souls gameplay, which I love the basic Dark Souls kind of gameplay, with the basic, like, action game gameplay, not Dark Souls, it's action game. I like basic action game gameplay. But I find that a lot of people wanted katanas and bows, if I remember correctly. Literally in a game called Sword Art Online, which doesn't have bows, I don't think. So it's like a weird thing where, like, the story kind of sort of is important, but the story, a lot of people don't pay attention to it. But I'd say the story is also, like, not tied to Kirito, which I think is one thing that kind of sort of cuts people off, because a lot of fans of anime games just want to have the story of their favorite anime characters. It's a really, really, really good point, actually. Right? Yeah. Okay, actually, I'll wait until... Oh, no, it's back. It's a really, really good point, actually. I think Echoes of Aincrad is made for people who aren't actually a huge fan of Kirito. Does that sound wrong? I don't think it sounds wrong. But I think that's kind of sort of how I feel about Echoes of Aincrad. It feels like a game that was made for people who aren't a fan of Kirito. I don't know if that's, like, wrong or not, though. Does that sound fair? Because to me it sounds fair. To me it seems like that's what's happening sometimes, right? Oh, you know what's also another thing? I think that's kind of sort of what Xenoverse 3 is kind of sort of being built like. Xenoverse 3, I think it's similar to Echoes of Aincrad, where it seems to be a game that is built for people who aren't really all that much of a huge fan of Goku. I'm hoping that is the case, though, Because I don't like the fact that, you know, I've mentioned this multiple times, of like, I don't like when I'm playing as Goku, or like I'm playing in Goku's harem, right? Not that I don't like Goku, but I want to play my story. So I have this thing where like, I just want Goku to fucking sit down, right? This is my villain, this is my story, get the fuck out of here, right? And I want that from Xenoverse 3. It's the same thing that's like when it comes to Echoes of Aincrad, of like, it seems like a game that is designed for people who don't like Kirito. And I think that's kind of sort of where I stand a little bit, where I don't really like Kirito. But I like the idea and world of Echoes of Aincrad. You know? I want to tell my story in his world because I find his world interesting, but I don't want to tell his story for the fucking 30th time. I mentioned that multiple times, but it's kind of like another like addition to it of like, Echoes of Aincrad feels like a game made for people who don't like Kirito. I don't think that's necessarily like wrong, right? At least to me, it doesn't feel wrong to say that the big thing with me and Echoes of Aincrad is that I'm playing a game that is based around me being the main character. It's very much something that I need more of. Not need more of, but I want more of. You know? I don't mind playing as Megumin, but I do in fact like her, so in the game, if I had the option, I'd play as her and experience her story. Or play as myself and have my own. Would be perfect in a way, though. I still play as her, and other games now I pass on being Kirito and play as myself. Yeah! That's kind of sort of where I kind of sort of stand when it comes to, like, games like this, is... It's what I want, because I think it's like that's how it is. Like I don't want to be Kirito. I don't like Kirito. Kirito is like not like a. I don't, and not that he's a bad protagonist. It's just like he's not my type of protagonist. You know, I really don't like him as a character. I find that, it's kind of sort of a thing that I feel like, I feel like it's important to me, you know? Like I've actually experienced a lot of like a lot of games and stuff. What's this?
All right, we made it to the second floor. During the beta, they called this place Moo Moo Heaven. Maybe we'll run into a herd of cow-like monsters. Okay, maybe I did go overboard with the enthusiasm. I should have known you'd see right through me. Still, I was the one who wanted us to come. I need to show it wasn't all just talk.
That's why it's good to have options, but sometimes if the gameplay loop is good enough, the story isn't really needed. Yeah, that's true. I do agree with that.
I sure hope we find Kirito quickly. But man, I can't believe we made it to the 2nd floor. This is totally amazing. Don't they call this place Moo Moo Heaven? I bet we're gonna find entire fields of cow monsters here. And to think we're basically at the front line. Damn, this is so sick.
But I think definitely I don't know. It's like a weird thing where like a lot of people would just like skip story. I find in action games, so it's like a weird thing where I guess not a lot of people experience the story of Echoes of Aincrad. But I've experienced it. I've actually paid attention, and over here, like I like what I'm experiencing. You know. Echoes of Aincrad definitely is an experience, I think. And an experience that I definitely like. So I'm happy at least. Imaginary shield.
Come again.
Oh, there's a lot of YouTube notifications. What the fuck? Why is this happening? Oh, okay. I'm right back. I use the bathroom.
I am back finally. Jeez.
I have news.
What?
I have news, guys. I have to go. The kid got picked up, and I only have an hour left, and that mission took about an hour and a half. So I don't think I have enough time, especially since the what you call it's a new area, so it's gonna have a lot of chests. So I'm gonna take at least an hour and a half. So I'll see you guys later. It was really fun. I'll see if I can do some stuff later. I thought I was gonna get a side quest or something, but nah. Yeah. I'll see you guys later. Have wonderful, wonderful nightmares. I will see you, and remember, when watching my content, I know you're into it, honey, honey. Good night. Meow.
Bye-bye.